seems to be something standing out.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we have 13 total FNCS wins shared amongst only 3 players. That, of course, is going to be Peterbot and Pollo, and then who Jacob and MDF just talked about, Booga. And I got to say, I got to share that excitement there for Booga. Man, I really hope we see him start to pop off here in this FNCS starting today and then leading into grand finals. It would be awesome to see, but we know how stacked the lobby is, man. I'm excited to get into the action.
Never count out Booga. Never. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let's take a look at this live list, okay? Let's just take a look at the first page. Vivid spoiled some of those, so did MDF and Jacob, but don't worry about it. Let's just look at this first page, right? Take in some of these names right now. Let's look at that top left, Isho and Dolzer. Coming into today, we need a victory royale or to end in consistency in the top 10. What can we expect from this duo?
I think between Dolzer and Isho, they're going to be landing Dark Dominion, which is not where they've been typically landing, but I do think they're going to have definitely a fine time over here. They've been playing together since the start of the chapter, but if you actually look at their Div Cup performances, they've gotten a 3rd and a 5th. Out of those performances, though, they have not been able to claim a victory royale just yet, but I do not think that that spells anything negative for this duo. They definitely play more consistently. They play kind of more to the low and mid ground, although we are seeing right here that if the position kind of opens up itself, that they will go for high ground. So although we might not see a win out of them, Vivid, I can definitely expect a top 10 performance.
I actually think it's going to be the exact opposite, Kelly. I think this team's going to get a win. Look at the stats from the play-ins. They got 6 wins throughout those play-ins. And I mean, I know it's a little bit different, right? How those lobbies kind of stack up against one another, but this was the team that actually picked up the most wins throughout the play-ins, right? So coming into the heats, I feel like this should be a team that is going to be able to pick up one of those wins. But I mean, the experience, maybe not so much there for them, right? Only a total of 7 FNCS finals appearances amongst the 2 combined. So maybe the pressure will get to them. They won't win a game, but coming out of the play-ins, they look good.
All right, okay. This is maybe a little bit of a different situation, though, right? For both of you, this is a heat, right? So play-ins is like a level 1, and then we go to heats. That's another tier up, right? So they're going up against some other big names, like as we bring up that lobby list, Iamzo and Josh. I mean, come on, Zoe, freaking legend, paired up with Josh. Do we expect something, you know, if Vivid expects, if VR from the last team, Kelly expects consistency, where do we line up on this duo?
Oh, they're going for the win, 100%. They got Frigid Fortress. They have it uncontested. And honestly, they have looked so good throughout the chapter, besides a little bit of issues that they've had with their drop spot, which has been resolved a while ago. Iamzo and Josh are just so dominant on the low ground. They are so aggressive. And then, of course, when it does come down to those win conditions, Iamzo is such a smart player. He has no problem being able to control high ground. And look at the plays that he is able to pull out, Vivid. He can punish some of the opponents that he sees on the map.
Yeah, I mean, just one of the smartest players we have on the region there. And I feel like we're starting to see a little bit of a trend being set here in the FNCS. Iamzo, kind of like that vetted player, picking up Josh, who, yeah, a little bit newer to the scene, right? That young gun who's going to be pretty mechanical. We already talked about a duo earlier on, Booga and Craze. It's kind of following that same formula, and I'm excited to see if it actually pays off right here.
You know, they were talking about a new era of Fortnite over in EU. I'm wondering, are we seeing the same thing over in NA? I don't know. What I can count on is one thing as we bring up this lobby list. It's cheese. It's the big cheese of Vive, paired up with yet another king. No, it's not the Brazil king, but it is still a Slayer in the same ways. I mean, Kelly, talk to me about this duo.
Yeah, I mean, just how it was so confusing for a lot of us to say that this wasn't the Brazilian king, just because of how good King Aling has been looking, especially partnered up with Aviv. I mean, Vivid, you were just talking about it. These kind of veteran players such as Aviv joining up with a newer player like King Aling, who has only had, what, 2 or 3 appearances in an FNCS finals. So once again, just so smart, kind of understanding what you need to be able to fill out your roster a little bit for Aviv. And with a Kingaling, a fragger like that, Aviv just picked such a great duo. And I think that they're going to have such a good time in the grand finals.
All right, Zeke, a bunch of these duos, they look good statistically. They look good on paper. They look good in some of the games, but lead us into the drama. Where's the drama at on NA right now?
Okay, let's take a look at this lobby list. You guys looked at that first list. You're like, man, this looks pretty stacked, Zeke. That's crazy. Let's turn on over to page number 2. Peterbot versus Clicks. Happening here early. I can't believe somehow we found ourselves in a situation, Kelly, where two of the, we had a rivalry season going on, and I thought, oh man, that's crazy. Foundation versus Ice King. Just kidding. Maybe it should be Clicks versus Peterbot. I mean, these guys' story goes back so far, and now we're kind of getting a little sneak peek of finals here in Heat 3.
Yeah, there's this episode of Dragon Ball Z where Vegeta and Goku are in the World's Strongest Man competition and they face each other in the first round of 32, and Krillin says, this is like having the last round first. And I kind of feel like we're getting a little bit of a taste of that right now between Peterbot and Clicks. And if you go back and you look at the lineage, if you look at the numbers here, there's a FNCS titles obviously goes to the way of Peterbot. But for me, Vivid, it is not looking at the comparisons. It is looking at the growth, the climb that we have seen from Clicks and Higgs. And for now, I think that this is the closest that we have ever seen Clicks and Higgs be able to take on the juggernauts of Peterbot and Pollo.
Yeah, obviously, there's a lot of talking around the town about, these guys going head to head. They're in calls. They're always talking about each other and everything like that. But in game, like Kelly is kind of pointed out, yeah, that skill disparity right now feels pretty close. And even sometimes in the way that they play the game, Peterbot and Pollo, we know exactly what their plan is going to be in the end game. They have been the height kings on NA in the world for as long as I could possibly remember. But taking a look at some of the Clicks and Higgs games and how they've played out some of the tournaments, some of the scrim games, I feel like they as a duo also are going to be interested in going for the high ground, or at least they've been practicing it, right? They know the plays, they find the synergy to go ahead and go up and secure the high ground. The only question that I have is, right, they know they're going to be in the same heat as Peterbot and Pollo, the ones that are going to be up on the higher ground for sure. Are Clicks and Higgs going to have the confidence to put all of that practice into fruition when they know who is going to be on the opposing side up on the high ground? That to me is the big question that I will answer today. And, I wouldn't be mad if this was able to happen over the course of all 5 games. If neither of these teams won a game, but, of course, they were secure on that leaderboard, I would love to see it happen all 5 times.
Okay. I like that. Obviously, we're going to ham up the rivalry between them. I think at the end of the day, they are still, they're good friends. If you're tapped into the Big Brother Faxity, he kind of called out himself at the end of their one tournament. They kind of came together and were like, hey, look, it's all good, man. It didn't work out, but look, respect, right? So we're excited to see so many big names fight it out here in Heat number 3. It could go any which way, but I'm getting word the battle bus is ready. So Fortnite fan, buckle up. Heat 1, or game 1 of Heat 3, there it is, starts now.
It's been a wild ride just to get to this point already, Monster. From Heat 1, Heat 2, 30 teams have already punched their ticket to finals. Today, we got 5 more games, 15 more spots, and you want to make it in here because LCQ just gets so much harder.
Yeah, it's going to be a short break, a day off, and then straight into the LCQ. So there's no rest for the week. This is going to be a very close competition here today. I mean, you're looking at the duos that we're jumping on in. We really get to round out the story now for NA here.
Yeah, especially since if you look at Heat 1, a lot of our big names chose to play through consistency. That way they got that extra practice. Heat 2, we saw a lot of our superstar names win games early, get the rest of the day off. It's only imagine what we're going to see here because we got Peterbot Pollo contested drop. If they win game 1, who knows? Teams probably could move over there. Maybe they feel a little bit comfortable. Same thing with Clicks and Higgs as Wonky Land. And these are some of the best POIs in the game right now due to the Rift, due to the Ferris wheel. It's just almost unlimited mobility while everybody else has to rotate to the zone. You can dodge that mid game. You can dodge a lot of the damage and the chaos. It's just a matter, do you win a game? Do you play for practice? And I think that's the biggest question for a Heat like this. But lucky, the game is ready and our questions are ready to be answered.
Heat number 3, game 1 is here, and now we get to see how things are going to play out. And you laid out all these different scenarios. Heat 1 had its own story. Heat 2 had its own flavor. Heat 3, when you have someone like Peterbot, we've seen him do things time and time again completely different to the normal expectation. And that is normally throwing a boulder in the road, right? Literally causing a blockade for other teams. I'm more curious to see if they end up dominating as much as they can early on, and then playing spoiler for other people that can be immediate competition, forcing them into the LCQ. Now, I don't want to name names, right? I don't want to put that on anybody. However, we have seen Peterbot go to that length, and he's willing to go to that extent.
Yeah, and already you can see that reputation that they have for off-spawn fighters, they're actually not contested this time around. Smacked an ace, they went ahead and marked that drop spot saying, hey, we're going here. So now they have a chance to surprise contest somebody else and really catch them off guard. As we got Tyler and Chance, we probably missed the off-spawn fight. It happened this quick. Tyler with the first drop onto Rezi. Paper takes a 1v1 against Chance, and they quickly wiped them off the map in game 1.
Yeah, they made that look nice and easy. Take no damage as well, so they really get to maximize their damage side of things. Zesto and Slamdo right here with Cairo playing up, trying to D this team out from the side. I like the angles that they're playing, however, they're not quite finding success here. Low on ammunition now, low on build as well. Taking a little too much time to initiate, and both sides have kind of gone the distance, already sinking deep into their heavy material counts. MVP ends up turning things around, and that's what I'm talking about. Take a little too long to initiate, and now it comes down to 50-50, and MVP just has the better loadout.
Yeah, it's just getting that purple shotgun right out of the gates. And this is one of those drops where you can 50-50, but there's chest on top, there's chest down below, there's floor loot scattered all around that building. So sometimes those do get a little bit prolonged, and you got to find an opportunity to capitalize on any mistakes. You see Aiden and Waffle trying to hide. They see the team go into the bush, quickly fires that shot in. No big damage going off just yet, but they do have some splashes and some minis to regenerate some of that shield. It's just all about timing here, because you see in 4 fields, there's a third team in the distance that can temporarily disrupt this, but Waffle sees that from a mile away. Good damage, and it wasn't even on the team he was initially trying to fight.
Yeah, that was crazy. A couple headshots right there, put him in a strong position here, and you know, if I'm hitting those shots, I'm pretty content with where I'm at on the surge. Yeah. So say you want to back off now. They've taken no damage here, and they've laid down the loft a little bit. Meanwhile, in the feed, though, I think Hoyos continue to get active on the team that was just their north side of the drop. So it seems like things are heating up for Peterbot and company already.
You've already played this event with a different team. Yeah.
For Waffle Joe and Aiden, I do like this decision. It is likely that we're going to try to box fight that team down below. Third party comes in, they get their damage, and they just leave. Monster, this is literally exactly what you were talking about. The team landing just above Squibbly's shores. They have a 2v1, and they make quick work of that one, and that's their second elimination. So you could tell they chase down Lawrence and Batman Joe.
Yeah, quick, easy eliminations. You know, it's one thing to contest them head on, it's another to land near them, and if you stick around for too long, I mean, it happens time and time again. If any team does studying on Peterbot and Boyo, everyone in their vicinity is a part of their strategy. You know, like, they'll eventually have something for you. You got to be prepared for that every single game, and you know, if you're not prepared, well, you'll learn a lesson here today in heat number 3. These set lobbies, Noah and Carbone, remember, they were pretty much going head-to-head, Jacob against Moxie's duo, so seems like they've managed to survive the drop so far.
Yep, over towards Painted Palms. We saw it early in the heats when we had Rise and Curly contested game 1, maybe even game 2, they split it. But as the day went on, they realized where they're at in the leaderboard. They said, hey, we can't keep going throughout the course of the game with the loadout, with what we have. We have to fight for it a little bit more. Maybe that'll be the case. Josh Yamzo uncontested towards Frigid Fortress, and they're able to get a lot of what they need for their loadout here at their actual POI. And depending on where the zone goes, that's where they have that rift over towards their west. They can immediately move towards the south, so they have a lot of options here.
Definitely enjoying the options, but let's jump into the fights right here. Waffle Joe, Aiden, taking that time to fish on the outskirts now have attracted the attention of the teams holding the outskirts. What's interesting about this, the zone is playing to the side, so these are teams that have a lot of time to hold you out right now. Curious to see how this is going to end up developing here. Cynex moving in. Another team lurking just on the outskirts, and there it is. They end up just meeting here for a bit on the edge of the storm. Bold move by Power there to just move in the open. Gets tagged a couple times.
Yep. Power Penta, they kind of land over here. Sandy Strip, contested drop. They don't want to fight, so they immediately go north. But Peterbot Pollo continuously on the hunt. And you said it early, it's just all the teams around their drop. They just went ahead and play into their reputation and just pushing and keying anybody close by, whether it's at their POI or not. That's a whole team up above. You see Peterbot shockwaving up, trying to continue to maintain that high ground advantage. Drops down, but it's Poyo who gets knocked altogether. Logan gets the elimination as well. Full HP, 2v1 against Peterbot on the other side, and now he's making that decision. It's time to shockwave off. They built so high up that you're gonna have to use a lot of resources to continue to maintain that fight. But luckily for Pete, even a third party shots come in to try to cause a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah, I was gonna say we showed them a little late. Let's watch that back one more time for Logan. See the little cleanup there, and if they just had a bit more controlled fire, they might have been able to take Peterbot out after the shockwave. So we'll see how things end up playing out right there. Meanwhile, Zune and Noisy here, back on over to the Sandy Strip. There's been continuous action here. I'd say most notably in game number, or Heat 1 really is where we saw the most of it. Pence's just watching this fight kind of go down. I'm not sure how I like Noisy all in the mix right here with Zune and his teammate not quite there to back him up. So this is very, very risky, almost giving away this clean fight.
Yeah, Power just got approached from both sides. Noisy cleans that one up. And this is where I kind of have me scratching my head, because Noisy, Zune, they were contested by this team at Sandy Strip. We saw Power and Penta go north, get a couple surge tags, then come back to Sandy. So it's an interesting decision to fight afterwards instead of on the off-spawn fight, but sometimes that's just the name of the game. With the zone pulling in this direction, though, Penta's going to have no choice but to continue to move up towards the north out of zone and hopefully get the revive. But Peterbot gets the reboot onto Poyo, goes down to Logan, and now it just looks like Logan has already eliminated Poyo before. He's eliminated Peterbot. This might be the counter, because now Poyo's dropped down to 6 HP, and they are fully eliminated out of game 1.
That's crazy. That's a huge upset right now. You know, I was talking
I
about
know
the
it only
momentum
Heat,
being
and
on the
I
side
know
of
only
possibly
one
the Peterbots
thing.
and the Boyos.
Peterbot
Pop
made it
off
through,
and then
but
play spoiler for
damn.
others. However, it's Logan and Mike who are
Why
leading
kick
right into that
Opoel?
story right now. And look who's happy about it. It's Clicks and Clicks sitting just nearby. Get to watch it one more time. Logan has just got Boyo's number 195 onto Peterbot. Oh my gosh.
I just hear that the old school cannot 200 just right there. Logan Bot taking a page out of Peter's playbook right here, and then just the way he's approaching this full confidence over Poyo, just destroying the builds with the thunder, landing the shot with the iron. That is just absolute madness. But it just goes to show, like, maybe everyone is right from EU to NA and all the regions in between. This might be the season for the up and comers.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, Logan just played that exceptionally well. He looked perfect almost in the fight, very textbook, and you know, most importantly, he hits the shots that matter the most. But hey, after that, pressure's on now to continue to perform. You showed us what you got. Hopefully it's not the best, right? If they want to make it to finals, they'll have to keep that level of pressure and consistency up.
And what I notice here, as we see Clicks and Higgs just outside of Swiftly Shores, this is, you know, uncharacteristic like of what we normally see in their game plan. They're one of the teams, because they have uncontested towards Wonky Land, they have that wheel, and they combine it with the shockwave and the fizz. It sends you flying across the map, and depending how you line it up, you can hit the rifts for extra 0 point and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So seeing them rotate this early to not take that damage,
yeah, that die kill Peterbot only made
Zeta
added bot in Fortnite so far.
Yeah, you know, and when you start seeing teams like Peterbot and Poyo fall early, right, it starts to open up the conversation for Clicks and Higgs. It seems like they were already contemplating maybe being a bit of a, you know, kind of throwing a wrench in their strategy, right? Like, maybe that's a part of it. Crash course them, see if they can send them down to the LCQ, or just make it difficult, put the pressure on them. So if they can keep that up, I mean, 1 out of 5 games is already through. You can only make a mistake in about 2, I dare say, if you want to be on the consistency leaderboard, and then you got to win the other round. So who knows?
It's definitely going to be tough, but you can see Sandy Strip, not only the 2 teams that originally landed there, but Kippy and his duo trying to see what scraps are going to be left by. It's a big POI. So many times, you know, you forget ammo crates, maybe a couple chests here and there, and depending on what their loadout is, you do see the gauntlets in his inventory. Maybe they're just looking for some shockwaves that were left behind. Still got to be careful, though. Noisy, Zune, they are still in this location as well, and they're lurking down towards the bottom, so it's easy to lose sight of somebody that is around the actual position. We jump on board. Booga and Craze, though, already have their 2 eliminations, 6 points, quick to rotate north from Battlewood Boulevard, so you can see they're prioritizing rotation early here.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, this is what we want to see from Bugha and Craze, right? Like, we want to see what are they capable of? What's the potential of this duo right now? And so far, it's looking very good. Absolutely solid here. Come to mid-game, 2 eliminations. And just set up early into the new zone here. So far, so good. And a very aggressive loadout as well. Like the Thunderburst SMG in the hands of Craze here. So I'm keen on seeing if they end up wanting to play for height.
You know, anytime I'm doing my watch parties on my stream, Monster, you know, NPen probably has to be somebody that gets some of the most love in the chat. And honestly, rightfully so. He's a funny guy. He's been around a long time. He just kind of missed out on a few qualifications last year. Now he's paired with Jack, who's honestly getting better and better with each and every event that he does play. And now you combine them here. They're uncontested just west of the actual Frigid Fortress. And so far, they've made it a priority to rotate in towards Dark Dominion and start to build up. This is going to get them a chance to recoup any of metal that they've lost up until this point. So honestly, I want to see NPen and Jack do well here today.
Yeah, definitely NPen, Jack. I'd say community favorites for sure. We've always seen them have such great attitudes, if you will, as far as their time in the FN comp space. Chance and Tyler, on the other hand, right now playing this bit of high ground here, looking for opportunities all around them. Zone starting to close in really quickly here. A few teams on the outskirts. They're just about safe right now, so pretty strong positioning here to play the gatekeepers of the Edge of Storm right now.
They know how to get damage, especially positioned up here. I think they each had about 20,000 damage in the play-ins, over 1.72 damage ratio each, by the way, over. So it just goes to show that they both can fire off when needed most. To jump on board Oliver, OG, and Carillion, just trying to rotate in. They originally started towards the north side of the map. You see they rotated towards the south rather quickly. They thought the zone would pull in this direction, but now that it kind of bounced back, it's centering up just outside of Sandy Strip. They quickly make their rotation back, and that's going to be the important thing with the zone tossing and turning, forcing players to pick and choose their rotations. They are going to position themselves well, while everybody else from the south is going to get stacked on that edge of the zone.
Yeah, and they have a very, I'd say, nice setup going on right now. A couple Flowberry Biz Miss as well, just to play Storm, Chug Jugs, big heals, splashes. They're situated very well. Make some big plays here. Come to end game for Higgs and Clicks on the other side. We've seen this play time and time again, right? Holding down a tunnel, sealing off both edges.
Not necessarily a bad idea. Yeah, you already have those teams that are positioned on top of the tunnel where they're at now, but there's going to be other teams that are going to try to dodge that fight, shockwave over, and try to get the zone. That could be a good chance for them to get damage there, but they're just not waiting for that to come through. They're 11 below the actual threshold, so they try to put some pressure onto Snappy momentarily. Basically full built in those hard materials, so not able to bleed any of those shots through, so they're constantly on the hunt. And right now, it's only 22 below, so there is no reason for them to get desperate.
The tag right there, it's at least keeping them in the game. You can see it's just teetered back and forth right now as other teams are starting to engage, so it seems like whoever their immediate surge competition was is already fallen behind there. You know, sometimes you need a little bit of luck, right? Not to force you out of position, not to make you do anything too drastic. Their options are not too good. You have a duo next door, and then if you take that fight, you have a team right above you, right? So they'll get third party pretty quickly. Jumping in with Lawrence and Joe. Quick rotates from the backside of the zone. They're wasting no time to get moving here. That's exactly how you want to play this here. Meanwhile, Bugha and Craze just off to the side on that same rotate as well. I see Josh, Yamzo there too. Trying to get in.
This depending on how far back on this rotation you are, it is going to be tough. You saw Josh Yamzo already positioned above that waterfall, but everybody just south of that position are going to have to use multiple shockwave just to get on over and continue their rotation in. Good chunk of the lobby already there, but you've seen the south side of the zone become more and more stacked. You even see where the drop is at. If you look at the right side of the actual minimap, that is a little bit of a river, water, so there's going to be less and less to actually play on. So you're going to have to expend a lot of materials here and into the coming zones if it continues to pull it towards the north side overall. There's Oliver and Carillion, 345 above the damage threshold. And you can see they're peeking through the cone, gathering all that information, and only editing out to fire a shot when they realize somebody is out of position.
What the?
Like what I'm seeing right now is Oliver OG is kind of hanging out right here, but game 1, Heat 3, a lot going on here. We're gonna toss it to
This time maybe restart.
Appreciate you guys. I'm sure you guys have observed. Some of the duos did not make it.
Oh
So
my
we're gonna go ahead and
gosh.
pause this down. We're gonna go ahead and cancel game 1. We're gonna restart, make sure everyone's in that lobby, and then kick off the
Because Peter
competition.
Pan
So
died.
first, a short break. When we return, more action from the FNCS. Stay tuned.
Like, I hope they can. Well, we're not gonna watch it? Because that's even worse. Okay. I mean, fuck us then. Yeah, I guess so, bro. Like, is anyone still streaming chat as OG in? Like, do they not crash it? Do we just watch OG now? Bro, they still don't know though. Oh god, okay, well.
What the fuck?
We've asked that a whole bunch, like some kind of setting in the game they can like put an announcement up, yeah. Or like crash the lobby.
I never see that before.
I mean, the replay's not fine, man.
Restart. And what's on it? No more fun of Fortnite need to say that before almost end up the game. Wow.
So there's like an 8-minute intermission while they fix this. Is there some highlights I can watch from like the heats?
Wow. Okay. Game 1 is fake. Warm up game.